Full Young and the Restless Spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is a wild, rainy Friday night. I just finished watching the latest episodes, and my brain is absolutely buzzing. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and maybe pour yourself a drink because we have some massive things to unpack today, and I am not holding back. I am literally screaming at my screen right now. I cannot believe they are actually going there. I mean, I saw the signs. We all saw the subtle little hints. But part of me genuinely thought, no, the writers wouldn't dare. That is too messy even for them. But they are daring. They are absolutely doing it. And I am sitting here at 2 in the morning trying to process the sheer level of absolute scandal that is about to hit Genoa City. Am I the only one who feels like they just got hit by a freight train with this storyline? Because I am reeling. Okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up so we can look at the facts. We need to talk about Kyle Abbott and Victoria Newman. Yes, you heard me right, Kyle and Victoria. I have been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen some wild pairings. I have seen couples that made absolutely zero sense, and I have seen love triangles that tore entire legacy families apart. But this is on a whole different level of taboo. I know some people on the forums are loving this idea because it brings the heat, but personally, I am half terrified and half obsessed. Let's break down how we even got here, because it feels like it happened in slow motion and then all at once. Remember when they tried to tease a Victoria and Nate Hastings reunion? Yeah, didn't work then either. They had that whole build-up, and it looked like the writers were going to push them right back into a full-blown romance, but then, nothing. They just completely backed away from it. Now we are getting this weird, friendly, almost entirely platonic vibe between Nate and Victoria. Which is fine, I guess. I actually like them as friends. But it left Victoria's romantic canvas completely blank. And nature abhors a vacuum, especially on a soap opera. So who steps into that vacuum? Kyle freaking Abbott? I mean, let's look at the other side of this equation for a second. Claire Newman, sweet, traumatized, trying to find her way Claire. We just had that deeply emotional scene where Claire explicitly told Holden Novak that her feelings for Kyle have faded. She made it crystal clear that she is moving on and leaving Kyle in her rearview mirror. But come on, guys, we all know how soap dialogue works. Whenever a character loudly proclaims they are completely over someone, it means they are absolutely 100% not over them. Or it means the writers are setting them up for the ultimate heartbreak, and oh boy, is the heartbreak coming. Because while Claire is out here trying to convince Holden and herself that she is done with Kyle, Kyle is spending an awful lot of time with her mother. Her mother. I can't even type that without shaking my head. Have you guys noticed the sheer volume of scenes Victoria and Kyle have been sharing lately? It started out subtle, a business conversation here, a passing glance there. But then we got to New Year's Eve 2026. I remember sitting on my couch watching that NY episode and my jaw literally dropped. Why were Victoria and Kyle ringing in the new year together? The chemistry was crackling, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife, and the whole time I was yelling at the TV, "What are you doing?" They were standing so close, exchanging those loaded, heavy looks, and the dialogue was practically dripping with subtext. And what are they always talking about? Kyle is constantly calling Victoria out. He's always pushing her buttons, telling her she needs to stand up to Victor Newman. He is challenging her in a way that nobody else does right now. And Victoria, she kind of loves it. You can see it in her eyes. She is used to men who either bow down to her power or try to manipulate her for their own gain. But Kyle is just coming at her with this raw, unfiltered audacity. He doesn't care that she's Victoria Newman. He's an Abbott. He has his own legacy. And that dynamic is creating this insane friction between them. But here is the absolute kicker. Here is the reason I am typing furiously in the middle of the night, the leak. If you haven't seen it yet, Let me bless you with the tea. A behind-the-scenes wardrobe tag leaked online. Now, for those who don't know, wardrobe tags are used by the production team to track what an actor is wearing in specific scenes, what locations they are shooting in, and who they are interacting with. It is a literal goldmine for spoilers, and Victoria's leaked wardrobe tag had a specific note for an upcoming scene. It said, "Almost kissed Kyle. Almost kissed Kyle. I need a paper bag to breathe into. This is not a drill, people." This is hard, physical proof that the writers are taking them into romantic territory. An almost kiss is the ultimate soap opera trope. It is the moment the tension snaps, but they pull back at the last second. It is the appetizer before the main course. You don't write an almost kiss unless you are fully planning to deliver a real kiss down the line. They are testing the waters, building the anticipation, and getting ready to detonate a bomb right in the middle of the Newman family. Can we please talk about the psychological mess this is going to create? I mean, think about Victoria's mindset right now. She has been under Victor's thumb forever. We know Victor is currently on an absolute rampage, gaslighting Nikki, manipulating everyone, acting like he is the absolute king of the world after the whole Matt Clark and Nick disaster. Victoria is stressed. She is constantly trying to manage her father's massive ego and protect her family. And then here comes Kyle, younger, fiery, telling her she doesn't have to take it. He represents rebellion. He represents an escape from the suffocating pressure of being Victor Newman's obedient daughter. But the cost. Let's talk about Claire. I am so incredibly worried for Claire. This girl has been through hell and back. She finally finds a family. She finally finds a place where she belongs, and she tentatively opened her fragile heart to Kyle. Yes, she told Holden she is over him, but seeing your mother, the woman you are desperately trying to build a bond with, making out with your ex-boyfriend, that is the kind of betrayal that breaks a person. That is the kind of trauma that sends someone spiraling right back into their darkest place. How on earth is Victoria going to justify this? I can already hear the excuses. It just happened, Claire. We couldn't fight the connection. You said you were over him. It is going to be so messy, and I'm absolutely dreading the moment Claire walks in on them. Because you know she will. That is soap writing 101. Claire is going to walk into the Newman Ranch or the Abbott Mansion at the exact wrong moment, and she is going to see Kyle and Victoria locked in a passionate embrace. And her entire world is going to shatter. And what about Kyle's motivations? Is he really falling for Victoria? Or is this some twisted power play? Let's be real, Kyle can be incredibly selfish. He has a history of making impulsive, destructive decisions when it comes to his love life. Is he drawn to Victoria's power? Is he subconsciously trying to stick it to Victor? Or is there a darker part of him that enjoys the fact that he is creating a wedge between Victoria and Claire? I want to believe his feelings are genuine because the chemistry is definitely there, but with Kyle, you just never know. He loves the chase. He loves the drama. Plus, let's factor in what is happening with Jack right now. Kyle's dad is currently losing his absolute mind. Diane is missing. Jack is terrified that Patty Williams has done something horrible to her. And the Abbott family is essentially in crisis mode. Kyle should be focused on his family. He should be helping Jack figure out what happened to Diane. Instead, what is he doing? He is playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the Newman heiress. It just shows how disconnected Kyle can be from the reality around him when he gets fixated on something or someone. Let's talk about Victoria's romantic history for a second, because it explains so much. Think about Billy. Think about Ashland Locke. Victoria has a terrible track record of falling for men who are complicated, dangerous, or completely inappropriate for her. She is drawn to chaos, even though she projects this image of total control. Kyle is just the latest in a long line of chaotic choices. But unlike Ashland, who was a literal monster, or Billy, who is a walking disaster zone, Kyle is younger. He is an Abbott. he is intricately tied to her own daughter. It adds a layer of taboo that we haven't really seen with Victoria before. Usually, she dates men who threaten her father's company. Now, she is dating a man who threatens her daughter's sanity. I know some people are loving this. I see the comments on the forums. People are saying, finally, Victoria gets a storyline that isn't just about Newman Enterprises, and I get that. I really do. It is undeniably fascinating to watch, but personally, I am just bracing myself for the collateral damage. Because let's not forget the biggest, most terrifying factor in all of this, Victor Newman. When Victor finds out that an Abbott specifically called Abbott is sleeping with his daughter and destroying his granddaughter Claire in the process. Oh my God, the mustache is going to go nuclear. We are going to see a level of Victor Newman rage that we haven't seen in years. He is already feeling vindicated and arrogant because of the Nick situation. He feels invincible. If Carl threatens the stability of his family, Victor will crush him, and Jack. If Jack finds out his son is embroiled in a scandalous affair with Victoria Newman while Diane is missing, the Abbott-Newman war is going to reignite like a powder keg. I just keep going back to that New Year's Eve scene. The lighting, the way they were framed in the shot. The directors knew exactly what they were doing. They were planting the seeds. And now, with this wardrobe tag leak, the harvest is coming. An almost kiss means they are going to lean in. We are going to get the heavy breathing, the eyes fluttering shut, the undeniable realization that they both want this. And then, a phone will ring, or someone will walk in. Or Victoria will pull away, terrified of what it means. But the bell will have been rung. You can't unring that bell. So where do we go from here? They are going to try to keep it a secret. They are going to have these stolen moments, these intense arguments that turn into passionate encounters in locked offices. Carl is going to keep pushing her, Victoria is going to keep resisting, but eventually the dam is going to break. And I am going to be right here, sitting on my couch, yelling at the screen, and loving every single agonizing minute of it. Because as much as I complain, as much as I stress about Claire's mental health, this is exactly why I watch The Young and the Restless. Give me the messy, inappropriate, family-destroying drama. Give me the scandalous affairs. Just, somebody please get Claire a good therapist on speed dial, because she is going to need it. All right, I need to calm down and try to get some sleep. My heart rate is way too high for this time of night. What do you guys think? Are you shipping Kyle and Victoria? Are you terrified for Claire? Drop your thoughts, because I need to know I am not the only one losing my mind over this.